We're going to discuss A Christmas Story, the 1983 comedy family movie, starring Peter Billingsley, directed by Bob Clark. I have got to say, immediately when I started the movie, I was questioning why so many people enjoyed this movie so much. I was watching A Christmas Story, and the first thing that bugged me 20 minutes in was the narrator. When it comes to narration, I always believe less is more, unless the narrator is doing something wholly different with the story itself. Like if it's an unreliable narrator, or if the narrator does something different with the storytelling. A Christmas Story does something with the narrator that I think is a cardinal sin, essentially. And it's basically, it tells the story. It does not let the movie tell the story. Like, I can't tell you how many times throughout the entire film where the narrator tells you a plot point where it could have very easily been done through the movie. And it was just an annoying thing. And I get to a certain extent what the movie was trying to do. It was trying to wrap this nostalgic bubble throughout the entire movie through its narration. It just didn't work, because things would happen in the movie where the narrator would essentially either spoil it or would essentially just say what happened, and you're looking at it going, why don't you just let the movie do it itself? It usually is the sign of, in my opinion, bad writing. Because the thing that a lot of... I used to want to write screenplays way back when. And a lot of the books and the classes I would go to when it comes to screenplay writing is basically saying, if you're going to have a narrator, first off, don't. But secondly, if you're going to have a narrator, don't have it tell the story. And A Christmas Story does that throughout the entirety of the film. And it's fairly annoying, to be completely honest. It's a nice narrator. The voice of the narrator is fine. But I just sat there going, well, why not just let me watch the movie so I can see what happens throughout the film itself. It doesn't, and the narrator kind of, I think, ruins the film to a certain extent. But it would only ruin the film if I think the film was good in the first place. And I gotta tell you, I don't think this film is very good. Would it be harsh to say it's No, Surviving Christmas is probably the worst. But this is close. I get that the movie's trying to be subversive. It was trying to wrap this nostalgic present around a pretty cynical type of movie about Christmas. And I just came out with it just being really annoyed throughout the entire film. First off, the main character of the film, Ralphie, is so damn unlikable. Like, I could not stand this kid. And since he is the main character of the film, it's not like the film has you want to laugh at the kid and make you feel as if, this kid's detestable, you shouldn't like him, he's this, he's that. No. The film wants you to sympathize with him and wants you to like him, because the way that the film... Because obviously the narrator is Ralphie in the future. But what they try and do is they try to make him likable through the narrator, but the kid, through his actions and what he does, is thoroughly unlikable. He beats on his brother. He convinces the kid to get his tongue stuck up on a pole. He's selfish. He is thoroughly unlikable in this movie. I just don't get why so many people like this movie, and especially like this character. It's like, oh, but it's realistic to what kids are like. Yeah, you know what? That might be true, but I don't want to be near that kid. Like, I don't want to be near that kid then. Because if that's what real kids are like, and yeah, okay, to a certain extent, some kids are like that. Okay? But there's also good stuff in them as well. I did not see that in Ralphie, like, at all. I found Ralphie to be not only annoying, but detestable. I could not stand this character while watching the film. And the fact that the film makes you think that you should sympathize and root for this character to get the present that he wants is just like, oh, God. It's like making a movie where the main character is a spoiled brat and just someone who, if you were to meet them if you were to see them with a parent at a Walmart or something, and this would be the kind of kid who goes, "Mom, get me this," and he won't stop. No one likes this type of kid, and I don't understand. First of all, I don't understand why the film thought he would be ultimately sympathetic, and two, I don't get why people find this character likable at all. This is a deeply cynical take on Christmas, I think, that is wrapped in this weird nostalgic bubble, like, oh, wow, don't you remember the good old times when I convinced a kid to put his tongue on a cold pole? What? Like, you want me to rap nostalgic about you being a dick? No. Like, oh, God. So there's that issue as well. Again, like, the main character itself is utterly detestable. I do not like this character. And then the actor who plays him, Peter Billingsley, I guess is fine. But just the writing involved with this character and these characters. Like, let me put it this way, okay? When Ralphie was getting beaten up by the bullies, I was like, good. Good. I'm glad. Because I was just like, oh, God, I can't stand this character. To me, that is not what you want an audience member to think when you're supposed to sympathize with a character or to identify with a character. Is that, oh, I'm glad he's getting bullied. I'm glad he's getting beaten up. Like, the movie is strange because it tries this melding of cynicism of Christmas with nostalgia surrounding Christmas. And there could be good writers who can do that, but this doesn't work. It just turns into like an odd, cold take on Christmas, while still trying to make you believe that it likes Christmas. You gotta go for something here in this one. You can't criticize Christmas for what it is, which the film in some senses is trying to do, while also saying, but yeah, isn't Christmas great? No, not really. That's not gonna work. that doesn't work at all. So yeah, this film makes a bunch of odd decisions that in the end does not work at all in this. And I don't think this would work outside of Christmas either. Like, I'm starting to learn, and I said I was gonna do this, and I'm gonna do it with It's a Wonderful Life. I really wonder if a lot of people, if they watch these movies outside of the Christmas season, if it would be as beloved as some of these movies are. Like, I think this is a great example. I would love to get people who said they love this movie to watch it in, like, June. Or let's say April. Like, away from Christmas. And then say, okay, what do you think of the film? Because I really think, especially with this film, that the trappings around Christmas helps people excuse the flaws of this film. If this was a film about any other holiday, and I don't think any other holiday has the attachment that Christmas has with other people. Maybe about one with Halloween. Okay, let's say it's a cynical story about Halloween, but somehow they try and wrap nostalgia around it too. I would like to see if that would work, because I think a good writer who is smart can do that. But I don't think this film does it very well at all. I think in the end, it writes its characters pretty poorly in this, especially Ralphie. I mean, yes, you can make a spoiled brat or somebody who is not 100% likable someone to root for. It is more than possible. But then you have to write things around it to make the character likable. And it doesn't really work in this situation. And then you have the parents in this movie. The father and the mother are fine. The father is the stereotypical type of, I'm I'm working, I'm running, whatever. It's a stereotypical father from that time period. I think this movie's set in the 40s. The mother is okay, but the things that happen throughout the movie, like the leg lamp, like, what was the point of the leg lamp? Like, okay, he won the leg lamp, so you're gonna insert the sexually suggestive leg lamp where now your son Ralph, the utterly detestable Ralphie, is rubbing its leg in a provocative manner. Good Lord, what the hell? Oh man, as you can tell right now, I had many problems with this film, and I'm willing to hear people out as to what they think of this film and why they love it so much, but man, do I not like this film at all. I watched this Thursday night. I'm recording this on a Friday. I know I'm a little late, but I'll get to why at another time. But man, I did not find this film very funny. I also thought the stated goal of the film, which is to be somewhat cynical but also weirdly nostalgic, just did not work. It was not executed well at all. I think this is a bad movie. I think this is probably one of the most overrated movies I've ever watched, amongst many, but this is definitely, I think, one of the most overrated Christmas movies. Okay, this is bad. Okay, so my final thoughts on A Christmas Story. I gotta tell you, after 20, 30 years of hearing people saying how much of a great Christmas movie this is, it's so funny, it's this, it's that, like, I really want to talk to these people and ask exactly what they see in this movie. This movie is, to me, this movie is awful. It tries to mix nostalgia with cynicism, and it does so in a slapdash way where it doesn't try to mix it very well, and the result is a mess of a film where it asks you to sympathize with a very unsympathetic character, and it also has this weird effect. It wants to have this weird effect where it's criticizing Christmas, but also stating how great Christmas is, but it doesn't do it very I'll say this, it doesn't do it effectively at all. There is no good effect to it. Did I laugh a couple of times in the film? Yeah, but it's more at the expense of the character itself when it's not supposed to. I think I was more laughing at the film, more laughing with it. I am giving A Christmas Story a 1 star out of 5. I think this is probably, it's not the worst Christmas movie I've ever seen, but it's close. 1 star for A Christmas Story. I guess I'm glad I saw it. I really have to start questioning the people I talk to when it comes to these types of movies, because, man, I did not enjoy my time with this film at all. I think this was a bad movie.